Welcome back to the morning show here on Hierarchies News. Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Hierarchies News analyst Emmanuel Great Malabite Efeni. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, thanks for the book. Yes, this is a biography. Queen of our times, a man of letters. You know what to give to people like us. Thanks very much, Dr. Bati. Now we'll start a review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. We'll start with the story above the lead. Dele Momodu. Wike doesn't own PDP. It can be disciplined. Says FCT minister spews arrogant lies. Don't succumb to despotism. Party urges Nigerians as it marks 25 years. Yes, the PDP marking 25 years of its existence, but it's almost passing as a non-event because the PDP has not been able to put its acts together. Twice it had failed itself. In 2015, it torn apart, and for the first time, the ruling party was defeated. Last time around, ahead of the February general elections, many thought PDP was the party to beat, but again, they were perpetually at war with themselves, and the result is there for all to see. But the man at the center of the PDP wahala, to use the popular Nigerian phrase, Nyesom Wike, yes, he insists he's still a member of the party. I thought that should be good news to the PDP bigwigs, that despite the fact that Nyesom Wike is serving in the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC government, he still believes he's a member of the PDP. I thought that should be a window of opportunity for rapprochement by all parties. But it's like it's fire for fire. But PDP, we need strong parties in the country. We don't want a one party. That's why we were also concerned with the goings on within the NNPP. We want strong parties that will give the true picture of democracy in action. Now, where democracy is not in action in some African countries. The lead story of this day, Tinubu seeks the big stick against Coupists. Biya, Kagame reshuffles military hierarchies. Nigerian military warns its men, reiterates loyalty to President. Gabon's coup 8th in West Central Africa since 2020, 4 of which were staged by close guards. Niger junta revokes French ambassador's immunity after expiration of 48 hours ultimatum to leave. Yes, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while exploring the option of diplomacy to its fullest, clearly indicating that the military option is still very there on the table. But we just hope the diplomatic option, dialogue, will pursue to its logical conclusion. The coup makers in Niger said they want 3 years to transition. But Algeria, close neighbor of Niger, has also put forward 6 months. Perhaps somewhere between 6 months and 3 years, we can find a common ground to allow these military boys to put in place a transition so that we don't have to spill blood in order to restore civil rule in Niger Republic. But the music coming out of Gabon, where a cousin of the family that had held that country down for over 50 years is now the military head of state. He will be sworn in on Monday, so they say. But what is happening in other countries? As the Punch newspaper reports, fear of coup. The Punch newspaper, AU suspends Gabon as Cameroon, Rwanda retired generals. 1,000 soldiers. AU says suspension in force until democracy is restored. Niger humanitarian crisis looms. Niger junta orders forceful eviction of French ambassador, cancels envoys families visa. Yes, the the signal coming out of Cameroon and Rwanda, where both heads of states have rejigged the military hierarchy and retired many generals. Well, is that the solution to sit-tightism? Rwanda and Cameroon presents two different pictures of leadership in Africa. Cameroon, 90-year-old Paul Biya, been in power for over 40 years, still planning to run in 2025, not even in control of himself, lives outside the country for most of the time, yet he wants to remain in power. The case of Rwanda, perhaps in terms of development, Paul Kagame has become the poster boy of African leadership. But you don't live forever. If you are a success, you don't have successor, you end up creating failure in that country. There was a time, a country called Somalia, Said Barre was a strong man there, and he lived and ruled that country. But when he died, today we know better about Somalia, a country in tatters, yet to put its acts together. So if Paul Kagame thinks he's the only one that can make Rwanda work, he should know that he will not live forever. And instead of tweaking with the constitution to keep himself in power, he should ensure that there is democracy in that country. Development without democracy is also a problem, because if the strong man leaves the scene, what becomes of that country? So the earlier he ensures that democracy in Rwanda takes root and it takes his bow out of office as an elder statesman and watch the country grow, I'm sure the better for that country, Rwanda. But let's move on to other stories. The New Telegraph newspaper, of course, the same lead story, the New Telegraph, as the lead. Rwanda sacks 83 military officers, Cameroon reshuffles position. But the story below the photograph, ministerial ambition, El-Rufai may bounce back as Sanusi orders mount pressure on Tinubu. Yes, I thought Nasir El-Rufai has given up hope of becoming a minister in this administration. But according to this report, there are those who are still making case for him to be brought in. Well, in terms of capacity and competence, El-Rufai has it, you cannot deny that. But what it also brings to the table in terms of his views on religion and ethnicity is not good PR for any government, as it were. But maybe if he's given a space, he will know how to tone down that aspect of his public perception. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, federal government suspend Nigerian Air, shuts old Lagos International Airport, October 1. Orders foreign airlines to move to new terminal, stops Abuja Kanu Airport concessions. Yes, Festus Keyamo, for the first time, is taking charge of a ministry, unlike when he was Minister of State for Labor. No wonder he protested, almost declared Minister of State an illegal position. But now he's in charge. He has made pronouncements. How well thought out are these pronouncements? I'm sure the details Nigerians will be waiting to see. But we expect action from him. He's a young man who is in government. So a lawyer who knows the law, a senior advocate of Nigeria, things that are not very much in place in the aviation sector, especially the bilateral agreements, which Nigeria seem to be shortchanged because Nigerian airlines don't get to fly as much as the other countries that are benefiting from these agreements. So we'll see how Festus Keyamo performs. We keep a watching brief on him, but we expect so much from him also. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, palliative, rice price spikes as federal government state suppliers mop up market. 50 kg bag records 10,000 naira increase in 10 days. Our supplies depleted by high demand. Traders, inadequate paddy, poor yield, responsible millers. Prime anchors shortchange government. AFAN, presidency, NEMA, MOM. Well, while we're trying to solve the problem of the impact of removal of fuel subsidy, it's like the price of commodities, especially foodstuff, keep going up. And that is the problem. Now, the Nation newspaper, of course, the lead story there, federal government halts Nigerian air. The Guardian newspaper, democracy without elections, how emperor governors, ad hoc administrators collapse grassroots governance in 238 local government councils. Now, this is a major problem in our democracy, where governors will prefer to put administrators and ground that the third tier of government, the government that is supposed to be closest to the people, just because they want to continue dipping their hands and utilize that joint local government fund, as it were. But it's a major problem, and we need to deal with it. Ruben Rufai and Ayo.
All right. So coming back to what happened, and I think we should sound a note of warning to other African leaders. The likes of Denis Sassou Nguesso, the likes of Paul Kagame, the likes of Paul Biya, the list goes on, and they hear the mass, the Isaias Afewerkis of this world, they hear the mass of this world, the likes of Alassane Ouattara, time up, c'est fini. Africa must be free. It's enough, all of you. Go.
But
go.
Coup is not the solution.
Coup is not the solution, no, but go. Transit democratically.
Nobody should
Please.
extend constitutional term limit.
Yes, go. Just go.
Paul Kagame thinking that by sacking soldiers and sacking generals, that would help. No. Just obey the Constitution.
Go.
When people become president, they take an oath to respect the Constitution. Don't violate the people's sovereignty. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Efeni.